What is up, guys? Welcome back to Aviation VPS, and today I'm very excited to bring you the very first update on the channel, or the old channel, of Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. This is going to be a great update. In total, I think we have like 47 models. This is obviously not one-to-one realistic, but it is pretty close. So what I've done is I've combined a couple terminals into one, and just in the middle of that scattered delta about. So as you can see, that resembles Frontier Spirit down here, and then that left side is mostly JetBlue, and then I did do my best to resemble the international terminal. And then also out of frame to the right, we have the, I believe it's Concourse T, which houses American, United, and Delta. So overall, we got a really exciting airport update for you guys, and can't wait to get into it. So without more speaking, let's get straight into this update. Alrighty guys, so we are going to start off with Concourse T. Concourse T is the terminal which is connected to the main entrance of Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. So there's no tram riding for this, and it is the first terminal you see unless you are entering through the international terminal. So we're going to start off here, and once again this houses American, United, and Delta. So we're going to start off on the furthest side there with the American CRJ 900, and he's going to do service out to Washington, D.C. today. And then next up right there, we have the American 737-800 with the logo on the winglets, looking fabulous, by NG Models. And he just arrived in from Miami about 45 minutes ago. And then right here, we have the American A321 in the fence-tip winglet configuration, and he's doing the flight out to the homeland of Dallas-Fort Worth. And then moving right along here, we have these two United aircraft. First off, in the distance there, we have the United 737-900 in the new livery, and he will be doing the flight out to Chicago O'Hare today. And then right here, we have the United A319, also in the new livery, looking fabulous with that lineup there. And he's going to be doing the flight out to New York Liberty. And then next up right here, we have the American Eagle E-175 doing the flight also up to Chicago today. And then next up right here, we have an interesting sight to see, but this is the British Airways 777-200. He did a flight in from London Heathrow 2 days ago, but upon landing they did have an engine problem, so maintenance has been working hard to get that fixed so he can do the flight back up to London Heathrow. But as you can see there, they're just getting the parts arrived in, and the fire was called, as you see in the back there, because they did have some sparks fly. But he will be getting that fixed, and should be done in the next week or so, and do that flight back out to London Heathrow. Alright guys, and next up right here, taxiing to the runway, is this Atlas Air 747-400, and he's going to be doing the flight out to Portland today. And then right here, just arriving in from Houston IH, is this United 737-800 in the Continental Merge livery. Alrighty guys, so we now are going to get into the more exciting part of this update. So this terminal right here, this is the longest terminal we have in this airport update. And this is basically all the domestic terminals combined into one. But it mainly, on the right side, represents Terminal C. And on the left side, kind of a B and D mixture, mostly B. Housing Frontier, Spirit, JetBlue, and Alaska. And then, of course, the Delta mixed in. But I did my best to kind of resemble it with the one terminal I really had available, so hopefully it's okay. But yeah, I'm excited to get into it, so let's get started. Alright guys, so we will be starting off with this side of the airport and then making our way down and around. But first up right here, we have this Frontier A320 by Aeros Classics, and he's going to be doing the flight out to Cincinnati today. And if you look just to the right of him, we have the Delta 757-300, also known as the Flying Pencil. And he's doing the flight out to Seattle. He's just pushing back, just fixing to push back for that flight out to Seattle. And so he's just finishing up the last of boarding, and then we'll begin to push back. Alright guys, and so next up right here, first aircraft we have the Delta 717. He just arrived in from Destin, Fort Walton Beach. And then next up right there, we have the Delta 767. And surprisingly, he's doing the domestic flight today. He will be heading out to Salt Lake City. He's just getting the last bags loaded on board. On the other side, some of the crew has just arrived, but he'll be finishing up boarding and then heading out to Salt Lake City. Alright, and then finishing off sort of our Delta lineup, we have the Delta A321. He's been doing the flight out to Cleveland, Ohio today. And then right behind him, we have the Delta 757-200. And he has just arrived in from Fort Lauderdale or Airspace Aviation's airport. And for our final two Delta aircraft on this side of the terminal, we do have more on the other side. But on the far side, we have the Delta Connection CRJ-700. And he will be doing a flight out to Charlottesville today. And then right there beside him, we have the Delta Connection CRJ-200 doing the flight out to Cleveland. Correction on the CRJ-200, that route was supposed to be Columbus. And next up, starting off our Army of Southwest aircraft. First there, we have the Southwest 737-700 with the split scimitar, and he's going to be doing a flight out to Richmond. And then next up, we have the Southwest 737-800 in the Heart livery by NG Models, looking great. And he's going to do a flight out to Raleigh-Durham. And next up, looking great, we have the Southwest 737 MAX 8. He's going to do a flight out to Fort Myers today. And then next up right here, we have a Southwest 737-700. He has just arrived in from Washington, D.C.A. and is getting those bags unloaded for his next flight out to Tampa. Alrighty, and flipping over to the other side of the terminal here. First off, we have the Southwest 737-700 in the Florida Wind livery. And he'll be doing the flight, I believe, out to New Orleans today. And then right beside him, we have the Southwest 737-800 in the Canyon Blue livery with split scimitars looking fabulous. And he'll be doing the flight out to Orlando MCO. Alrighty, and then for our next lineup of Southwest, right here we have the Southwest 737-800, also by NG Models. And he's been doing the flight out to New York LaGuardia. And then next right there, we have the Southwest 737-700 in the beautiful Louisiana One livery, doing the flight out to Houston. And then finally, in the far distance there, getting the baggage loaded on board. He just arrived in from Las Vegas. And that is the Southwest 737 MAX 8. Alrighty, and then back to a few Delta aircraft before we finish off this terminal. First off right here, we have the Delta 737-900. He just arrived in from Portland, Oregon. And then next up right there, we have the Delta Connection CRJ-900, looking great. And he's going to be doing a flight out to Mobile, Alabama. And then right there in the distance, we have the Alaska 737-900. 900 in the One World livery. And he'll be doing the flight out to none other than Seattle, Tacoma. And then, sorry about the weird camera angle, this is a stretch for the camera to reach. But finishing off this terminal, we have the JetBlue A321neo doing the flight out to New York JFK. And then next up right there in the Puppy Prairie Dog livery, we have the Frontier A320neo. And he's going to do the flight out to the home base of Denver. And then making our way down there, we have the Frontier A321. Both these Frontier aircraft are new additions to my collection, and we're glad to have them. But that is the Frontier A321, I believe, in the Steve the Eagle livery. And he's going to do the flight out to Detroit. And then finally for this terminal, we have the Spirit A320neo with service out to Orlando MCO. And so that does conclude this terminal. And we will now be moving on to some taxiing aircraft and then ending with the international terminal. Alrighty, so right here we have the FedEx MD-11F doing service out to none other than Memphis, Tennessee. And so moving right along here, we have the Delta A220-100. This is not exactly the most realistic because the A220 has only been to Atlanta once or twice, but we hope to get him soon. But he's going to be doing the flight out to Salt Lake City today. And next up right here, getting taxied out by the push tug, we have this Delta A330. He did the flight in from Rome earlier today, but he is now getting pulled out to go to the maintenance hangar to get some scheduled maintenance done. But he arrived in from Rome earlier today and should be heading back out into service in about a week's time after he gets this much needed maintenance. Alrighty guys, and excitingly enough, starting off our international terminal, first up there you see the KLM 777-300. On the left side of the aircraft he is getting the catering on board, and on this side you see the baggage and crew getting loaded on board from the back, and he has just started boarding for his flight out to Amsterdam today on this KLM 777-300. And then next up right here we have the SkyWest 730, no it's not 730-700, this is the SkyWest CRJ 700, and he has service out to White Plains today. Alright guys, so next up here we have this lineup of 737-800s. So on your far left there we have the Copa Airlines 737-800 with scimitars in the Connect Miles livery. Very thankful to have this model in my collection, as it is a great addition. We're doing the flight out to Panama City. And then next up we have the Delta 737-800, and he'll be doing the flight out to Nashville. And then on your far right there we have the Aeromexico 737-800 with service out to Mexico City today. Alright guys, and next up right here, kicking it off with these three aircraft. First in your bottom left here we have the Air Canada CRJ 900 with service out to Toronto. And then next up right there, looking great, we have the WestJet 737 MAX 8 with service out to Calgary. And then finally, on the top of your screen, we have the Delta A350-900 with service out to London. And for the very final aircraft of this Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport update, we have the Korean Air 777-300. Again, really heavily serviced with passengers on board, and catering just started, and he is doing the flight out to Seoul, South Korea. And that does conclude this airport update for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm excited to start this series. I do plan on growing my Delta collection by a lot, as well as getting some more of the international planes and another table, so I have 2 terminals. But yeah, so stay tuned for all that to come. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your favorite routes or just whatever I need to add to this airport to make it better in the comments below. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching.